everyone. I hope that you're doing well today. And in this video, I'm going to be planting some things in the garden. So the first thing I'm going to do are plant these potatoes and getting into these pots that I have over here. And the first thing that I'm going to do is get them wet with some water. And I also have some extra soil if I need it. Okay, we've got the potatoes. Now I'm going to grab the trellises. Okay, here they are. The trellises are pretty huge, but I had just brought them down. I do have different sizes, but these are the potatoes that I had grown inside. And I don't know if you had seen with the footage, but there is the potato right there. So I know that they're growing and they're growing well. And these guys actually look really healthy and good compared to what I had growing before. So I'm really excited. This is my first time ever growing potatoes, and I'm excited to see how this works. And these are the I mentioned it before, these are the type of potatoes that grow in the ground, and the plant leaves will just start growing up high, and then everything will just start growing in the ground. There are other varieties where you have to keep putting more soil and having it go up with the leaves with the plant, but with this kind I don't have to. And so yeah, this is something that I'm trying out new this year, and I'm hoping for the best. Okay, these are the plants that I'll be taking outside. These are the peppers, and the banana peppers did not grow at all. And these are the tomatoes. All of them were growing very well. We have cherry tomato variety, another cherry tomato variety, and then this one is regular sized. And then a lot of this stuff, as you can see, it didn't really grow. With this section over here was the bok choy. I did plant a couple outside, but because of the weather, I don't know if they really had made it or not. I might have to plant more. But I did have that spinach outside that I had mentioned before that actually started coming up, and so I'll show that later. And then right here is the endive. All of them pretty much grew except for like these two. They didn't really make it. And then we have a leek. I don't know why the other stuff really didn't grow like that. It just maybe could have been the maybe the soil had gotten a little bit too dry. I'm not really sure. I know that with the iceberg that I had right here, none of them grew at all, and I think those seeds might have gone bad. I know some of the other plants that I have planted in here, or seeds, I mean, they are kind of old. I've had some of these seeds for a while, so it could be part of the reason as well. And so we're going to be taking all of this stuff outside. So for the tomatoes, I am planning on putting them in this big raised bed over here. And I think what I'm going to do instead of a trellis, I think I'm going to wind up putting like a piece of rope on that metal hook right here. And then I think I'm going to wind up like connecting it to this guy over here. And maybe just having a long piece of rope go back and forth. I don't really know exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but I do have some extra trellises if I need them. But for right now, I'm just going to start planting these and just continue on from there. planted the peppers. I've got some sweet peppers right here, 2 of them. This is a new variety I had bought from the store, so we'll see how that goes. And then these are the glow sweet peppers. I've got 3 of them. And then I've got these 3 right here as well, and that is the Cupid sweet peppers. And I've had grown both of these last year, so I know that they are very tasty, and they're just like a mini pepper, as if. And yeah, these are different, so they're not as different, but they are shaped a little differently, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, and then the last thing that I will be planting are the endive and this leek. I think I'm just going to wind up putting all of them into this container, and then I will be done. Okay, I've just planted these. This is the endive and the leek. And before I end the video, I will talk about a little bit of what else I have growing. So we're going to start over here. These are garlic chives. It's a perennial, so that is why they look so crazy right now. I already have to start probably cutting them soon. And then over here are the Johnny Jump Ups. I was trying to look for the sign. I have a little sign down there. I don't know if you can see that, but these are the Johnny Jump Ups. These are perennial too. I like them a lot. They're just so pretty. And then down here we have basil growing, and for some reason that does not look like basil growing. That looks like a leek. And you know what's weird is I was seeing that over here too, unless these are the garlic chives growing, but I don't think they are, because the leaves, they look a little bit different. But I have a whole bunch of these growing, so yeah, right next to the tomatoes, so I don't know how that's gonna do. But over here is the basil. I'm pretty sure this is the basil and that's the basil. I know this isn't. I don't think that is either. I'm not really sure. This is the parsley. I know that that's the parsley. That looks like parsley. That's not. These are just cloves, but I don't mind if they grow. And then this is the celery. I'm not really sure how they're gonna do. They were out here during a very heavy storm that we had, so that's why they kind of look like that. But I'm hoping that they can revive. And then over here we have some lilies. I don't know how these are going to turn out, just because I can never usually get these to flower, but these are growing pretty well this year. I did put some more soil in and just kind of mixed it up with some fertilizer, so I'm hoping that will help. And then over here, I'm pretty sure this is a sunflower. It started growing on its own. And then I planted this one. This sunflower was inside. This is the autumn beauty. So that's going to be kind of like a reddish, brownish color. And then over here we have the sugar peas. And they're growing really well. These have been out here for a while, and they've been through all this storm and crazy weather, and they're holding up really well. And then over here is the rhubarb. This thing is growing like crazy. I put it in a bigger pot this year, so I'm hoping that they'll grow a lot better. I think they will. They look crazy, and I'm expecting to make something out of it this year. I don't know what yet. And then over here, these guys are growing crazy too. I don't even know what I'm gonna wind up doing with it. These are the Bergamot. I think there is a mixture of other plants in here. I don't really know. Hopefully I don't have to pick out a bunch of like unnecessary weeds. But yeah, most of this is the Bergamot. And then over here, there is some growing. That is the lemon balm. That's supposed to be all growing over here, but the Bergamot took over. I might have to trim some of it back, unfortunately. Yeah, like this right here. This is just not part of the plant. And then this is sage. It's starting to come up. It's starting to come up off of this old stem. That is where the sage was growing before, and I had trimmed it. Now it's growing. And then here is the German winter thyme, and this is a perennial. All of these are perennials right here on this smaller raised bed that I have. And I got to keep up with this as well because I have so much of it inside, and I'm super grateful. I just got to find out exactly like what I can do with it. And then all right here are sunflowers. I don't know what I planted. I kind of just winged it and just started planting stuff. And these guys have been out here for a while as well, through the storm and stuff that we had. And I'm glad that they held up because I wasn't really sure. We did wind up putting a tarp over like this whole raised bed right here, and just had it like over the railing. And I think that really had helped when that happened because the weather was getting to like a freezing point. And then over here are the cucumbers. I see a couple of them. That's a cucumber, and I think this one is too. I don't know, that don't really look like it, but I did plant them not too long ago, so hopefully they start coming up. And then over here are the bush beans. Some of them came up out of the soil from the weather as well, so it's okay though. I think that might be a bush bean right here. I don't know. But we'll see how they go. I might have to put some more soil on here. I'll probably wind up doing that. And then over here are the radishes. And I had just put some more soil on these guys. That's why they kind of look a little like flimsy. But they're coming up. And you can kind of see, yeah, like it being red a little right there. And I guess I never plant these deep enough because this is the second year where I've planted them and they started coming up a little bit. And then in here, I don't know how easy or hard it is to see in here. Maybe I can zoom in. Yeah, back there, that is the spinach. And then that is the bok choy right there. They're not looking too great, but I don't know, we'll see. And then right there, I'm pretty sure is the kale. It looks like kale. I'm so excited for that. And then there's even more right there. And so these are just basically like the brassica plants that I keep in here to keep away from the insects because they go crazy over that. And then sooner or later, we'll eventually start fixing up the deck. We've had some other things to take care of in the household, and so we just haven't been able to get to it. Yeah, this was the sign for the iceberg. They never did grow. The lettuce, I might have to do a different variety to see. But yeah, this is what I've got going so far. I'm going to be putting up that rope, like I said, eventually here soon. And for the tomatoes right up along here. And yeah, this is what we've got going so far. I'm really excited for this year, for the garden. I think that everything looks really well and healthy, and yeah, I'm really happy with the soil choice as well that I'm doing. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for joining along. Have a great one, and bye-bye.